Arguably, the most important show in Netflix history is finally wrapping up about a decade after it started with, yes, season 5, make that one make sense, of Stranger Things kicking off its unique final season in a couple weeks' time. And honestly, its marketing and its promotion has been a little bit odd. Last month rather, there was a big expose, and what was the big takeaway of that? And it's like, okay, journalists are kind of weird because they're out there asking 12 and 13-year-olds if they're gay or not, and kind of a strange but not unexpected line of questioning. And then on Sunday, you had them put up another teaser trailer that ended up getting DMCA'd by themselves. Netflix DMCA's their own Stranger Things tweet, which is like, that's interesting. They have obviously rectified that situation, given the fact that it was like a 10-second teaser or something like that, designed to get people hype and remind them of the release schedule. Because, yeah, you're getting 3, for all intents and purposes, movies coming out, right, within the next month and change. Thanksgiving, you're getting part 1. Part 2 is coming out on Christmas, and then part 3, which is, I think, 90 minutes long, could be even longer than that. All of these are well in excess of an hour in length, but yes, 90 to 100 minutes for the finale coming out on New Year's. It's like, it's a smart strategy, because you're going to be capitalizing on the most amount of people congregating around the television at the busiest times of year, and I would say it's a strategy that they're going to be looking to employ for similar series with a similar type send-off. See how well this works out for them. I can't really earmark any specific shows that they have out there right now that would be following this trend, but obviously this is Netflix. They're going to be sticking around for a while. They won the streaming wars, so much so that actually we could take a look at this right now, because I find this interesting, right? Because in regards to the big Warner Brothers shakeup, Netflix may buy Warner Brothers after all. Streamer shockingly moves to explore the Warner Brothers bid after dismissing the concept, because, yeah, okay, well, they're probably not that interested, and depending on how long this buyout goes, I just, wanted to tangent to this a little bit, just a little bit, because I would imagine, okay, like Netflix would rather talk about this situation of them potentially strip mining Warner Brothers of some of their more lucrative IPs, bringing them over, because they don't really want to be saddled with any of the traditional networks or cable channels. Like, do you really think Netflix wants to get back into that old archaic model where, oh yeah, sign up for our subscription service and just running ads in between inside the NBA spots? I'm not entirely sure that's the way that they want to go, but then again, Netflix really does like that live sports programming. And given the fact that one of their big boxing matches, I forget who it was, isn't it? It's the older Paul brother fighting some other social media celebrity. That fight ended up falling through, so they don't really have a big end of the year fight to promote. So, I think the future of Warner Brothers, we can kind of all see, isn't in their own hands. They're going to get bought up, or they're just going to get pieced out here in the next 6 to 12 months. And it'll just be interesting to see who gets what goes where, and where all the chips ultimately fall. But one thing will be for certain: in the next 6 to 12 months, Stranger Things will be done. Okay, actually, we have a definitive release date on that. And yeah, by 2026, it will be done. But I'd imagine the conversation is going to continue on for a little while longer, because, yes, it's a big thing, okay? This is one of those series that, I haven't watched a minute of it. It never really appealed to me, even all the way back in the day when it was first coming out and people saying that it was the greatest thing ever, and that, oh my god, there really is some potential in this whole streaming original programming. But then it's funny how it just absolutely fell off in popularity with the second and third season. It recouped a little bit for 4. But of course, with the big finale coming up, they just want to go ahead and bring everybody all back together. And that's why over the holiday season, that's why they're releasing all of this stuff, which is why they would probably not really want to be leading into this season with the 2 biggest stars. Once again, hijacking the headlines, but not in a way that anybody would really want them to. Millie Bobby Brown reportedly filed a harassment complaint against Stranger Things / Marvel star, yes, David Harbour. Oh, right, yeah, the guy who's out there with every opportunity, whenever a microphone is shoved in his face, talking about those fascists in Washington, D.C., how the orange man is so bad. It's always so funny how all of these people who are out there just virtue signaling to high heaven are always the scumbags. But let's take a look at what we have here because there's very interesting reports coming out, especially early buggers this week. A new report out of the UK claims Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown filed a harassment and bullying complaint against her co-star David Harbour before the start of the show's final season. A claim Netflix has not confirmed, and one that comes entirely from the Mail on Sunday's reporting. The story has ignited controversy online with a post about the allegations on X being hit with a community note, pointing out that the original claim relies on anonymous sourcing tied to a friend of Harbour's estranged wife. Okay, not exactly the strongest of sources, and given that this situation was, for all intents and purposes, even if we are to take it at face value, it was handled through the correct and conventional methods, okay? This was kept internally, okay? And if Millie believes that this was handled appropriately by the powers that be that got the complaint, I mean, it looks like everything's going to be working as intended, and if it's been an open-shut case, I mean, why would Netflix have to come forward with any of this stuff? But let's see, of course. So, however, because this involves two of Netflix's most recognizable stars, yes, and one of Marvel's major stars in the post-Endgame era, and lands just weeks before Stranger Things returns, the entertainment world is paying attention. The allegations stem from the Mail on Sunday, which reported that Brown submitted pages and pages of concerns and that Netflix internally investigated. The paper emphasizes that none of the claims involved, sexual misconduct. Yeah, just bullying and harassment, so he's an asshole. I mean, like, I could tell you that from the outside looking in. Representatives from Brown, Harbour, and Netflix did not comment, according to the report from Page 6 and TV Insider. Netflix, consistent with its usual approach to internal matters, has not confirmed and has not issued any statements in regards to a review taking place. So, what are we dealing with here? The Mail quotes an anonymous source saying Millie Bobby Brown filed a harassment and bullying claim before they started shooting last season. Interesting, because goddamn it, man, like, we really have to take a look at the records. But when season 4 was coming out, I guess that would have been filming, goddamn it, 2022, 2023. Like, it's been a minute. So is that where all of this stuff is stemming from? There were pages and pages of accusations. The investigations went on for months. The source further alleged Netflix will never comment on an internal investigation. That's normally how this stuff goes. But the fact they've not denied it speaks volumes. I mean, kind of like that classic gotcha question. When did you stop beating your wife? It's like, what's the appropriate response to that? It's like, okay, how did your investigation into David Harbour go based on the allegations by Millie Bobby Brown? It's like, what am I supposed to say to that? Do I say, well, do I say, no, that never happened? It's like, where are you coming up with that? Because then this ends up snowballing from here, so it doesn't make sense. The Mail also reported Brown had a personal representative on set during filming of the final season, which, yeah, she's become quite the big star since the beginning of all of this, so it would also make sense that there would be somebody there. I'm just simply trying to play all sides of this, man, because for as much as I'd like to think that David Harbour is a pile of garbage, it's like, if the evidence isn't there, man, if the glove does not fit, I mean, come on. Post spreading the allegation on X was quickly flagged by community notes with a message. The only source quoted is a friend of Mr. Harbour's estranged wife, described in the article. A friend of Ms. Allen's, whose new album eviscerates Mr. Harbour, claiming he cheated on her multiple times, said, wait, what? Okay, what are we doing here? Okay. The note is verified and emphasizes that the story, yes, relies not on neutral production insiders, but on a social circle tied to Harbour's recent marriage split. Story also arrives as Harbour's marriage to singer Lily Allen has entered headlines. Really? Okay. And her new album, released October 24th, featured lyrics many believe reference infidelity and emotional damage. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, once again, a big virtue signaler being a philanderer. I mean, reset the clock. Okay, reset the counter. In an interview with the Sunday Times, Allen noted, I don't think I could say it's all true. I have artistic license, but yes, there are definitely things I experienced with my relationship that have ended up in this album. This backdrop makes the sourcing chain all the more delicate. One reason social media users and fact checkers are treating the report carefully. Yes, in past comments of David Harbour have spoken publicly about caring for Brown earlier in their careers. In a People-sourced interview, he once said of his young co-star, I try to protect her as much as I can. That quote is now being revisited in light of the claims. Yes, exactly. He just really wanted to tell everybody how great of a guy he is. But then, if there's any validity to these comments, I so far haven't seen, as this article here, as that Park Places article summarizes, nobody's made heads or tails of this, and nobody's representatives have come forward and said there's no truth to this. There is an ongoing investigation. There's nothing. It's a radio silence, which leads me to believe that potentially somebody's just trying to get some clicks off of a highly anticipated final season of a very, very, very popular show. Or perhaps this is just simply going to be the gathering of snowflakes rather, that will eventually trigger an avalanche. If there's anything to follow up on, I'll definitely be doing that. But if not, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.